like me better when I wasn't yours. I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back to who I was before.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. You see the title, let's talk about it. Okay, so I want to say I kind of touched on this a couple months ago when I was going through one of those let's talk new makeup product launches, and sometimes I give news on, a brand possibly coming to Ulta or coming to Sephora or something like that. But it has now been confirmed after 5 years. Marc Jacobs Beauty is coming back. We even have a launch date of next month. Let me read you the article. I was about to say read you about it, but child. Marc Jacobs Beauty is officially coming back in June this year. Finger on the Pulse beauty account Trend Mood posted on Instagram a few months ago that at the recent New York Fashion Week runway show, Marc Jacobs Beauty was credited as the makeup partner. Marc himself confirmed it. Now the Marc Jacobs Beauty Instagram has confirmed speculation. The relaunch is slated for June 2026. We've even got a glimpse at the packaging. See below. That's kind of cute. If you're 30-something, chances are you remember the original Marc Jacobs products. The products originally launched in 2013 as a joint venture with Kendo Brands, who were also behind Fenty Beauty. I also find it, I haven't heard many people talk about it, but a couple months ago, it was announced that Kendo was trying to sell their share of Fenty Beauty. So I wonder what happened with that. Did Rihanna buy the rest of her? The rest of that share? Did someone else buy it? Are they still trying to sell it? Actually, I'm going to look into that after this video. And it was an instant cult. The coconut primer was constantly sold out. The mascara was one of the best on the market at the time. I was also a huge fan of the jumbo bronzers and co-liners. It was a rare brand that married performance with ease of use while feeling very fashion adjacent. Lots of color, but also a focus on dewy, healthy looking skin. I'm trying to think, do I remember the brand for being like that? I will say, I give credit where credit is due. It was definitely one of those brands back in the day, early YouTube beauty space, or just, beauty online space where, someone talked about it, someone raved a primer or something like this, people were going to rush to go get it. It was very much so in the leagues of the Anastasia Beverly Hills, Makeup Forever, Lancome, stuff like that. But I'm trying to remember the actual products themselves and what they offered. Were they just this colorful, creative, inspirational? I'm trying to think. I do remember that coconut primer. But the fact that I can't remember a whole lot of products vividly, quickly, there was a period of mourning when it unexpectedly discontinued in 2021. The fragrance portfolio remained, but the makeup disappeared. The small but loyal fan base has had questions ever since. Back in 2023, I do remember hearing this. Business of Fashion reported that the brand was returning under a new deal with Coty, who also owns licensing rights to the fragrance portfolio. And now finally, we have concrete proof it's almost here. No words yet on a specific launch date for Australia or retail partners, but here's hoping some of the original cult products are included in the comeback. I did hear that LVMH, LVMH, because that's who owns Kendo, was trying to sell to Coty, but I didn't hear anything after that. And I believe Coty, now I don't know, I haven't checked into those things, so I'm not sure if Coty still owns ColourPop, Kylie Cosmetics, but if you want an idea of what other brands they own, those are some of the ones that they at least did at one point. I don't know if they still do to this day because I haven't checked to see who owns Kylie Cosmetics and ColourPop recently. So yeah, that is the news that Marc Jacobs Beauty is back after five-year hiatus. Like I said, I do remember that it was definitely a popular brand back in the day. I do think around the time when it kind of discontinued, 2021, and it kind of lost some of that steam that it had when it came to being an it girl popular brand. I want to say something happened. Something happened with a launch or something where it turned customers off. I don't remember if it was a scandal exactly, but am I bugging? Did something not, some scandal, something, some offense occurred where people were kind of off Marc Jacobs Beauty? But then again, the fragrance is still really popular, so maybe I'm thinking of the wrong brand. Baby, that's how long we've been here. We have been here long enough that we've gone through all the scandals, we've gone through the brand shutting down, and now we are at the point where the brands are coming back. But the brand is back, so let me know if you are excited to see what they have coming out. If you do have things that you really love from them in the past and you want them to bring it back, let me know all that in the comments down below. You never know who might see your comments. Take it back to the meeting rooms look, they said this is what they want, this is what they want. But while we are on the subject, and since I did just say we have lived long enough that we have watched these brands shut down and now they are coming back, and I do think for the last probably post-COVID era, a lot of brands are relying on nostalgia and playing at people's heartstrings. Like, you're a millennial, you see something Rugrats related, you're like, aw, I remember what. Like, there are just certain things, they bring back certain time periods of your life, and it makes you feel good inside. So that might lead you to want to spend money because it is that thing related, right? You've seen a lot. The amount of ColourPop collaborations during COVID era, stuff like that, they were playing on the fact that there were lots of millennials who love Barbie, who love Bratz, who love The Simpsons, who love this, who love that. Now, that's a debate for another day on whether that's an ethical marketing type of thing. However, that is a way that, people will play with marketing and advertising to kind of remind you of those old times and make you want to purchase those things, just so you can go back to, and especially right now, when times were probably better. When all you had to worry about was waking up on time, you could watch the cartoons before you go to school, you could watch Fairly Odd Parents, go to school and come back, have homework. Now I'm telling you, every single day as an adult, it's something. It is something you make hot dogs last till Thursday, you get paid on Friday, pay all your bills, buy some groceries, Saturday you wake up, you need breaks. It's just always something. So that is definitely a way that advertisers play on the emotions of customers. And because of that, a lot of brands have done things like bring certain things back or bring certain brands back. So while we are on the subject, what are some other brands that kind of deserve that second chance? Like, maybe they didn't get to live to their full potential, so we should bring those brands back. First up is Becca Cosmetics. Becca deserves another chance. They do. Now, y'all know they royally pissed me off with that last major product that they launched, the Invisible Foundation, which was really just like Vaseline primer. We gonna ignore that for the second. Becca deserves another chance because I feel like Becca was ahead of its time. It was ahead of the boom of inclusion. It was ahead of probably the technology that we have nowadays, the makeup styles that we have nowadays. They did that for what they had at the time when it comes to complexion products. I want to say they were around there. They weren't up there with NARS Cosmetics, but they were around there when it comes to their grasp on complexion products. However, the reason I feel like it's around there and not up there is because I feel like a lot of the complexion products were more so similar in the coverage and stuff like that, whereas NARS, if you want something that's more full coverage, if you want something that's less coverage, like, you have options with that. Not so much with Becca, especially because of the time where Becca was at its peak. It was very heavy, very thick, very full coverage. That was the trend type of thing. So I feel like give Becca a second chance to come back around and really get to play with the different levels of coverage, the different makeup styles that are popular now. Because while I do feel like clean makeup is has been the aesthetic for the last few years, I feel like colorful makeup, creative makeup, it's been fighting back lately. It's been fighting back with the popularity of Painted by Esther, the new heavier blush trend that's been catching on. I feel like more colorful creative makeup, it's trying to fight back. So now would be the time to have a second go around when it comes to Becca. I was just talking about eyeshadow, stuff like that. Dive into eyeshadow lip products because they had it when it came to creativity. They had it when it came to the marketing and giving you options to an extent. So give them that second chance this time around and just don't do nothing like that. And that's the thing. They were trying to be creative. They were trying to be innovative. Missed the mark on, some of the later releases that they released, like a clear foundation. Okay, next up, BH Cosmetics. I was just talking about, what's been going on with e.l.f. Cosmetics and ColourPop. Now would be the time for BH Cosmetics to get that second chance because listen, and I was just talking about creative makeup having a chance to come back. ColourPop was that affordable brand that was going to give you options and let you explore your creativity. Now, maybe a little bit much with the collections. It was like you would have this option here and that option there, and maybe it got to a point where it was a little overstimulating, kind of like ColourPop, like they had too much for you to choose from. So maybe tone it down a little bit. But I was thinking about it the other day, and it's like when you really think about like the popular, trendy, affordable, more so drugstore brands, who are they besides, like NYX? Elf done tainted themselves last year. And even though, of course, people are still going to purchase Elf because, baby, you gotta do what you gotta do when it comes to the money that you have and the options that you have. But they kind of lost that spark. ColourPop lost that spark. There is Maybelline, L'Oreal, NYX. I want to say NYX is probably, they sitting on top of the castle with that one. Wet n Wild's kind of fell off. I did see a post about Milani launching something, and that reminded me, oh, Milani does exist. But you see what I'm saying? Like, I can name the drugstore brands, but they kind of fell off with their popularity. With the launches that they were coming out, they kind of reverted back to just like drugstore brands. And if you're walking down the aisle in the drugstore and you see it, maybe you might stop and look at it. But they lost that, at least on social media, at least that online presence. They kind of lost that spark. Other than, you know, a NYX, maybe Maybelline. Who else? So they had the products, they had the options. I feel like if they got a second chance, they would have to focus on quality production, and then they really could compete with like a NYX or something like that. Give them a second chance. Okay, and the last brand I'm going to mention is Bite Beauty, and I find it funny because the reason that a lot of people give for why the company shut down, a lot of brands today are doing, and it's still working out for those brands. So sometimes it really just boils down to you, the brand, and you can't do what everyone else does. Sometimes you got to stick to what you know and how to do it. I think I told you guys Lily Galici, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. She's married, so I'm not even sure if that's her last name anymore. But Lily Lashes was on a panel, and she said one of the worst things that she did as a businesswoman is name her brand Lily Lashes, because it kind of limited her brand to lashes, right? You're not going to think of a company that had, you're not going to think of a company that's called Lily Lashes and say, oh, that's probably the best place for me to go get a foundation or a blush. You're going to hear that and you're going to think Lily sells lashes. And Lily has been pretty, limited to selling lashes. And that is a company that some might say did kind of fall off. So Bite Beauty, they were known for their Bite mouth lip products. They had really good lip oils, lipsticks, lip glosses, stuff like that. And people say that the reason they fell off, the reason that the brand ultimately had to close down, is because not only did they reformulate a bunch of formulas that people had already gotten used to, they already had their holy grails, but then they tried to venture off into other categories of makeup, blush, eyeshadow, whatever it is at the time. And like 2 years after that, the company had shut down. And people said that was the reason for their downfall. They should have just stuck to lip products. And it's funny because I would say Bite Beauty was the early 2010s version of the present day Laneige, Rhode Beauty Cosmetics, Summer Fridays. Those companies are very known for their lip products, and Laneige done gave you a lip mask, a lip gloss, a lip oil, every version of that you could think of, and they just keep putting it out. But I have also noticed that those brands are venturing out into other categories of makeup. I just bought a Laneige powder during the Sephora sale. It was a good powder. It was nice. I was like, okay, I see. Y'all can do things other than lip products. Rhode Cosmetics is obviously, venturing out into other makeup products, other skincare products, but their balm things were like the most popular product that the brand had. Summer Fridays, the lip balms, the lip products were their like main thing, but they've put out, I think, SPF. I was just talking about bronzers that they were going to launch. So it's funny how, at least for now, it's working for those brands. It didn't work for Bite Beauty. So give Bite Beauty a second chance, especially right now when lip products are so popular. All the oils, all the balms, all the glosses, all the lipsticks. And I feel like, don't quote me, I feel like Bullet lipstick, that actual type of lipstick product, I feel like that'll have a surge soon. If not like by the end of this year, sometime at least by 2027, people will go back to like bullet lipstick type things. So I feel like now when lip products are so popular and it is a very quick way for you to have your brand just kind of be out there in the moment, now would be the time for Bite Beauty to come back and do what they do best and maybe focus again on lip products and getting the quality back to what people originally liked Bite for. And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to reformulating stuff. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If not enough people are talking about there's a quality issue with this, y'all know that spray from One Size where the issue with it is if you spray it, it'll just continuously spray and it won't stop, and now you just wasted like $30 worth of product. If people aren't complaining about the product like that, if it doesn't have that type of issue, don't touch it. Okay, the most you can do is maybe like a repackage during Christmas for Christmas packaging. Other than that, don't touch it. Don't. But yeah, don't touch what's not broken. And yeah, y'all, that is it for this video. There is a fashion brand that I feel deserves a second chance because it was ahead of its time, but that's a video for another day. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about Marc Jacobs coming back and other brands that you think deserve a second chance that you would support if they did. Now, I didn't mention some of the Black-owned ones that had shut down because I believe I have done updates on how they were purchased out by other brands like Mented, Beauty Bakery. What is the name of the brand? The owner has since passed, but the brand was purchased by someone else. I've done updates on how a lot of these brands were purchased by other companies, but I haven't seen anything since on like launches or anything like that. And it's been a little minute for some of the brands that I've mentioned. Like, yeah, some of them with like a last year type thing, but I want to say like even since 2024, I've done videos on how some of these brands were purchased by other brands. And they were supposed to be, you know, having a comeback and doing new things, and I haven't heard anything about them. That's why I didn't mention them having a second chance at a comeback, because they were supposed to already have a comeback, but I haven't seen anything. So if you have, also let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to thumbs up, comment, subscribe, turn notification bells down below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.